Hey everyone, it's Thursday, October 12th, 2017, and it's time to go to work on music. It's been a great day. I'm in a really good place and excited for a productive session. I was still late to today's session, so that's not good, but I'm improving, and that's what matters. So eventually, I know I'm going to resolve this stuff I'm dealing with, but for right now, I might just have to accept that it's going to be baby steps until then. But doing my best, putting a lot of energy into it, and all I can do is give the maximum effort. So, anyway, I'm gonna hit some online classes. I'll update you guys with what I'm doing there. I'm going to get in a quick drum practice, and then I'm probably gonna hit the vocal production front hard today and try to get some really good takes for the second verse, uh, second pre-chorus, and hopefully the second chorus as well. If I can get good takes for those, I'm not sure how much juice I'll have in the tank for the bridge and the final chorus. That might be something I tackle on Saturday, but that's the plan. And then I will probably have a little bit more time to work after that, so my guess is I'm going to devote that to editing the horns in the second verse, and then probably starting to get some drum sounds. So I'll update you guys with what I accomplish at the end of today. It's going to be a pretty big session. Appreciate you guys for tuning in as always.
But I'm too focused to notice, and I'm tired of listening.
All right, excellent session. Nice and long, nice and robust. I'm definitely feeling fatigued, and that's always a good thing. That's how I know I gave a lot of energy to the session, one way. So let's see, got to walk my mind back a while. So hit the online class front, just move forward with a couple different income streams, some more information about digital fan clubs, and also it was mostly that, and then a little bit about what was the, I think I was just finishing up, the skills and expertise one. Just, one way to generate some income from your music is to think about skills in music you have that you can use to help other people or move other people forward, like a class or Skype lessons or things like that. And again, your creativity is the only limit to what you can do with that. And on the digital fan club thing, it really only works if you have a pretty hardcore following already. But again, you can be as creative as you want to be, and it's not a new idea. It's just people want to participate in the culture around your music, so you provide an opportunity, a valuable opportunity for them to do that, and they pay for that opportunity. So I would think something like a VIP meet and greet at an artist's show who you really like. It's like, not only do you get to go to a cool concert, but you get to meet the artist and talk to the artist before or after, take a picture. That stuff is really valuable to people, especially where in an age where exclusivity and posting on social media is so valued. So it's something to think about, definitely interesting. Then I went from that into a quick drum practice. I just kept that pretty light and got into an exercise where I was just working on flam taps between my hands and my feet, just trying to get my coordination, my control. And the main thing with my feet right now is I feel like I don't have quite the control I want, and it's it's often difficult to stay really relaxed when I'm trying to execute figures with my feet that I hear in my head. So I think what I want to do is really take a step back, slow down, and just take my time and be patient building up those ideas and those figures so that, you know, even if it's a year out or a couple years out, one day I'm able to just execute them without so much tension and just a little cleaner and a little tighter. So that was really good. I probably just played like a set of Flam Taps with my hands and feet back and forth, or it was probably Flam Triplets. Forgive me if I'm not talking about the right rudiment, but something like that. And yeah, Flam Triplets going back and forth. I probably did it for like 5 minutes straight. I don't know, something like that. Just keeping it steady, no metronome, nothing like that. Just working on execution and staying relaxed, staying aligned with like posture and stuff, and just trying to make it feel good, you know. So that was really great, and it's always nice to do that kind of thing when I have extra time in the sessions. It really helps. I can just kind of go with whatever I'm doing in the moment and really make it into a good exercise. And then had a quick snack, rested for a bit, warmed up my voice, got into the vocal booth, got the vocal chain set up to do some recording, and then I had a long conversation with an old friend of mine, took a break, had some food while I was on the phone with her, and we used to share this house together actually back in the day, and she's heavy in the music industry, and it was just fun to catch up. You know, we didn't really talk about music all that much except me updating her with what I'm doing artistry-wise, which she was excited about, and she's working on a book that's non-music industry related as far as I know. And it's just cool. It's just great to have the right awesome people in your life, and it can take a lot to make space for those folks, but in my opinion it's really worth it. And even though she and I don't talk a lot, we've got a great relationship, and it always feels like we can pick back up right where we left off, which is so nice. So I mean, we lived together we shared this house for like 4 or 5 years, so that's a long time to build a relationship for sure. But yeah, that was great, and it feels really good for me to be taking this time to do music and just have the freedom to do that, like do something like that, like have a long phone conversation without compromising my music work for the day. I mean, that hasn't really been a reality for many years, because, you know, I've been working jobs to make money and then doing music, kind of just building this up slowly over time, and the social thing and the sleep thing sometimes really got put on the back burner for years at a time. So I'm really happy I'm moving into a phase of my life where I don't have to compromise as much, if that makes sense. It's really nice, and hopefully that continues. So then from there, I just jumped right back into the vocal front and started working on some takes for the second verse, second pre-chorus, and second chorus. And I got some stuff that's probably usable for sure. I'm happy with where my voice is and my delivery is these days. But I can't help but feel that another day or a few more hours of takes would probably help. So I'm not totally sure what to do on that front, because I listened back later in the session to the first verse stuff, which I thought was really money, and then that sounded kind of not that good all of a sudden. So I was a little worried, like, oh shoot, am I going to have to go back and redo all of these vocals? And I might just have to do that. And I'm always wary of that, because it's sometimes perfect is the enemy of good as an artist, and it's really easy to just do a billion takes and you're just killing off all the ones that could have been so magical. And you hear producers talk about it all the time. Like, I was just reading this Hendrix biography, and Kramer was like, I had to beg Hendrix to stop doing takes sometimes and just plead with him, like, this take is already fucking amazing, like, don't fuck with it, you know? And same story I've heard with George Martin and Jeff Beck on the Blow by Blow record, where George Martin was just like, no, you're done, no more takes, that's it. And oh man, it just, sometimes you need that. And over the past few years, I got the hiccups. Over the past few years, I've been really good about that. Just not letting the perfectionism take over too much. But with this track, I've just been like, nope, do it over till I get it right and the way I want it, and get it really good. And I'm struggling with that a little bit now with the lead parts, the vocals, the solo. Like I listened back to the solo earlier and I was like, oh, it's awesome. It's got no worries. That's great. Felt really good about it. And then I started listening back to it again later and I was like, oh, it's not perfect. Let me see if I can comp it with some other, parts of the solo. And the comp worked, that's rhythmically a lot tighter. Took just a few short sections from another solo. But then I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. Am I corrupting the integrity of the thing? And my friend and I, we were on the phone talking about how important authenticity is in music as an independent artist these days. And I was like, oh man, how authentic is that? Comping my fucking guitar solo, like, why don't I just be honest and be like, look, I couldn't get this perfect, and this is how it sounds. Maybe that's what the message of that solo or that take or this song's gonna be. But I'm also aware that later in the sessions I get fatigued, and honestly, the best move probably would have just been to move on to something else instead of screwing around with that. But I lived and I learned, and these longer full day sessions are pretty new to me, so I'm still learning how to manage the mental game of them and what to do in the later half of the day when I'm a little more fatigued. And it's good. It's really, really good. It's a good new mistake, and I'll sleep on it and hopefully feel good about it tomorrow. But yeah, I ended up listening back to some of the vocals I did, doing some comping, editing on that, and again, I think that might have been a waste of time. Maybe not a waste in the sense that I learned from it, but a waste in the sense that I don't think I would do that again in the future. I think what could have been good is just move on to the drums and just do something totally different and get my mind off it. Because when I've done a take that day, I just don't have any perspective on it, and the more you listen to something, the more your mind starts to contort it, and it's just really difficult to maintain perspective sometimes with this stuff. So that's where I'm at today. A little bit grueling, honestly, but overall I'm really happy, and I'm excited that I'm going to start digging deep on this stuff. And I'm nervous that maybe I'm not going to get all this stuff done in time or whatever, but if it comes to that, I'll make some executive decisions and judgment calls. And this is why you have deadlines in the real world for this stuff, because if you don't have a deadline, sometimes you'll just keep changing something over and over and over again, and it'll never be finished. And that's a fate that I just really don't want to succumb to right now. So anyway, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys are out there grinding towards your goals, enjoying the process. That's what I'm out here doing. And I'll see, I'm off tomorrow for Friday, but I'll see you guys on Saturday for more. Can't wait.